Ray, how you doing?
Oh, no, you're going to lead the show.
No, you're going to lead the show. It's your show. It's Tiki Time with Ray.
Tiki time with
I don't know, whatever.
Hi everyone, this is Ray, or some of you might know me as Tiki with Ray, and today I am at the Devil's Reef in Tacoma, Washington, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Jonathan of Horror and Clay.
Hello.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Ray.
Now, the interesting thing about Jonathan's mugs is that they're horror themed, but not how you think. I mean, like when most people think horror, they're thinking like the creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula. And there are mugs that I think Beeline Creative Geeky Tikis are making.
Sure, yeah.
But the mugs that you're doing are definitely coming from a different angle. And what is that angle?
I would say that, first off, our mugs are pulled from horror literature.
Yes.
And what I try to do is create a different artifact collection for each kind of literary property we go for. That is like an in-universe thing. We create a fictitious bar. Okay. We create other companion pieces that would go with them. Like this evening, we're here celebrating our Pallid Mask mug release. But also in that collection is a Mai Tai glass from the shores of Carcosa, which is our fictitious Chinese restaurant going back to that period of history when a lot of the tiki bars also had different kinds of Chinese food as part of their offerings.
Yeah, totally.
And we try and pay a lot of homage. They're almost like fanboy mugs to styles of tiki mugs.
What do you mean?
Well, like one of my mugs is the Innsmouth Fog Cutter. The Fog Cutter, of course, is an early style of tiki mug.
Yeah.
Possibly a repurposed flower vase from when they first started having themed mugs. So my Innsmouth Fog Cutter is something that would have been used at a fictional hotel in Innsmouth, Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And part of that collection is my Deep One Gold coins, a map of the area, the mug itself, the Innsmouth Fog Cutter itself, which has a name drop for the Gilman House Lounge, which is, again, a fictitious location.
So it isn't just a mug.
It's
a whole, almost kind of like a universe.
Yeah. That's
incredible.
I mean, because when I got into tiki, I was finding like here's a matchbook with like a name drop of some place I've never heard of.
Of course.
But I can find a swizzle stick from the same place. Okay, now I've got two pieces of the puzzle. I've got a coaster now, and then the Holy Grail, of course, is you find the mug and you can do a little like. This is kind of like what they would have had at the place if you went to eat there or to drink there. Yeah. And then I found out that they had specific recipes. All of my mugs have specific recipes created for them by different cocktail creatives, mixologists and bartenders and home bartenders.
Can you say who some of those are?
Sure. I think it would be most respectful, since we're here in Devil's Reef, to say that Jason Alexander designed our...
I'm drinking this drink right now, and it's incredible.
Yep, well, that one is actually not the one he designed. He designed the one for our cask of Amontillado.
Oh, yeah. And that is a very beautiful mug.
Thank you. That's possibly my favorite. It's more based on the Edgar Allan Poe short story, The Cask of Amontillado. But Jason did us a delicious thing with Amontillado sherry for that.
Yeah.
The recipe for the Pallid Mask is called a Carcosa sling, which was designed by my wife and starts from a...
Allison.
Allison, yes.
Hi, Allison.
Allison does Mug Crate, which is a whole different
She's a very big part of this.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And what is Mug Crate?
So Mug Crate is our quarterly Tiki Mug experience box, and it includes a cocktail recipe, hors d'oeuvre, a way to present an hors d'oeuvre, pieces of art. We try and discover different artists that work in the tiki style, and each quarter includes a mug from different people. But Allison actually created our Carcosa sling for the Pallid Mask mug.
No way.
Yeah. She started from by synthesizing all of the Singapore sling recipes she could find, and she wanted to make it more herbal. So we've got, if you've got any, like I said, we have a lot of literary references. If you have any Burroughs fans that have seen Naked Lunch, they've got the bug powder, which is the addictive bug powder, and we repurposed. It's yellow, so we use turmeric in the cocktail.
I've seen the movie and read the book.
Oh, marvelous! Yeah. Marvelous. So yeah, so the little garnish on top is the turmeric powder to kick up the herbal notes in the gin-based drink.
My favorite tiki mug of yours has to be the Cthulhu.
Well,
you want to talk about the Cthulhu mug?
Sure. When I was starting to get
and it feels good. Like it's a good feeling mug when you feel it.
We worked really hard to put the grips in the right place, so it's not slippy. But the Cthulhu mug, I collect horror ephemera and autographs and things, as well as tiki mugs and tiki stuff. Yeah. So when my daughter was born, we got our first house, and so I finally had a basement that had all of my tiki stuff and all of my horror stuff, and I was trying to design what a tiki mug would look like and I was like, okay, horror and tiki, and now it. The idea makes a little bit more, has been more widely accepted, but back then there wasn't exactly a single entity that combined the two.
No, not at all.
But I was rereading a book that I got in London that was the collected works of H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah.
And it's divided into 3 parts, and one of the parts is called The Horror in Clay.
Oh, wow.
And the Lovecraft cult kept having artifacts that kept popping up in the different chapters from around the world. Yeah. The swamps in New Orleans, the South Pacific. And so I realized that there was this crossover in that Cthulhu lives in Oceania. So I started researching what, I realized that a map wouldn't be called like the South Pacific. It would be called Oceania, and where were the Caroline Islands, and where was they reference Lovecraft in the story references the point of no return, which is the furthest point from any land-based any landmass, and there are 2 of them. Or no, it's the point.
Yeah, I have an apartment on one of those buildings.
Sure.
My commute to work is.
Yeah, the deep South Pacific, and also up here near.
That joke didn't fly, did it?
Not quite, but you almost got it. I think it was.
They can't all be winners.
Yeah, I think it launched. You definitely got it up there.
Yeah. Well, I admire your honesty. I'm gonna put like canned laughter in there.
Oh, absolutely.
See, John, it was actually funny.
Hey. Who knows? Who knows what mysteries there are on heaven and earth? But yeah, so my.
What the hell does that mean, John?
I
cracked a bad joke, and you're like, who knows what mysteries?
It means I can answer a leading question in an affirmative manner, Ray. No, the Cthulhu mug and the Horror and Clay collection was our first collection. And
when did you start that? When
that
did Horror and Clay start?
2012.
2012. So that's been a while ago. Mm-hmm. And I think what's interesting is what you're doing with your mugs. It's not out of the ordinary, but I know what you're saying, like back then to create the kind of mugs that you were making. And they're highly detailed.
They are.
They're high quality pieces of art. And I think what I like about what you got going on with Horror and Clay is that essentially you're plowing your own path. You're not like, all right, let's make mugs. Okay, here's the tiki gods like that have been done a million times. You're doing your own mugs.
That's true.
Well, what came first for you? The interest in tiki, or horror?
Probably the interest in horror. I would say interest in horror, but it is sort of related. I was an early reader. I read a lot, and I received probably too young. I want to say it was like 2nd grade, like a book of a thing of classics that were. There were 2 books of Edgar Allan Poe short stories and 2 books of Robert Louis Stevenson stories.
Wow.
And literally, like I remember, like as far as I was concerned, Santa Claus brought me this cellophane wrapped sets of 5 books, and it was like Jack London,
Wow.
Edgar Allan Poe, Mark Twain, Robert Louis Stevenson, and somebody else. I don't remember. So there was a heavy like horror and adventure kind of theme in there, and I can trace interest in both tiki and horror back to like that one Christmas.
Wow. That's incredible. So for you, the two of them have been kind of interwoven.
Yeah,
For the most part.
for the most part.
It isn't like you had an interest in horror and you're like, oh, how can I inject this into tiki or vice versa? For you, it just kind of all seemed natural.
My current understanding of tiki and my understanding of tiki then is different, but yeah, absolutely, it was interrelated all the way back. Because I was very into what I would say was like the adventure and escapism, like kind of the Swiss Family Robinson and a little more Disney Jungle Cruise than where I am now. I mean, I've been really like what I think of as tiki now started with a trip to Trader Vic's in Atlanta with now my wife Allison around 2002. Yeah. They used to do tiki torch nights, and they had an anniversary of Trader Vic's. Yeah. And we went, and Derek Yaniger was selling art, and I was very into mid-century modern at that time.
Do you like mid-century modern?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, me too.
I had some tulip chairs, and I have a collection of atomic clocks as well, the teak and brass.
Oh, those are beautiful.
And so, like the first piece in my collection that was tiki was a little 10-cent chipped tiki lalani that Allison bought me, and it was to go with my atomic clocks and my our first apartment, like our Christmas tree. We got a white Christmas tree with a color wheel.
Yeah.
And,
I love those.
And the star for the tree was a puffer fish that I ordered from Sputnik Housewares.
Awesome.
And so like there's a picture of me in like a blue velvet smoking jacket holding my newborn daughter because she was born in November. And the puffer fish is over the tree.
That's so awesome.
And Allison's. And I've got this handlebar mustache. It's ridiculous.
I think what I admire about you is that this isn't just like a hobby. This is your life.
Yeah.
Horror and clay. Your interests are all intertwined. I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
And I think it's important for like. It isn't like you're playing a character. It's you. You're like, okay, at the end of the night, I pop up the Hawaiian shirt and be like, okay, all right, now I'm into like the things I really like.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Your love of horror, your love of tiki, it's all there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Ray.
So, if someone's interested in getting any of your things, where can they go?
We're hyperactive online, so pretty much
Hyperactive.com.
Yes. Or
at least
but no.
At least that one got a chuck.
Horrorandclay.com or www.horrorandclay.com. Please do not type it.
Blair Reynolds is in the house.
Please don't type it in as
just like Blair Reynolds.
Yeah, no. He's got a great radio voice.
He does. He totally does. You do too.
Thank you.
So if you ever give up making tiki mugs, you could be a DJ. All right, John. Thanks for coming on the show today. Tiki with Ray. Jonathan M.
Chaffin.
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 Chaffin?
Chaffin.
Or Chaffin?
Chaffin. Like wheat from the chaff.
Like your legs chaff.
Nah, it's chafe.
I was calling you John F. Chaffin. John M. Chaffin. Hey gang, this is Tiki with Ray, and I just want to say thank you very much for checking out my video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see more episodes, click on the subscribe button. And if you liked the video, give it a like. That would mean a lot to me. And if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave a comment in the comment section below.